Warren Davison has this night off. The Stephen Avery murder trial was predicted to last about 6 weeks, and by all accounts, it is on track. This afternoon, the state rested its case, and tomorrow the defense begins their case. Chris Schuler live now from Chilton with more on this final day of testimony for the prosecution. Chris.
Tom, jurors in this case have been listening to prosecution witnesses since February 12th. Tomorrow, the defense is going to get a turn at starting its case. Now, here's a quick recap of where we've been so far. The state has called 53 witnesses over the course of 18 days and has introduced 496 exhibits as they try to prove that Stephen Avery lured Teresa Halbach to his home on Halloween of 2005, where he murdered her and then burned her body. Now, the last witness they called was a co-lead investigator from Calumet County. Sergeant Mark Wiegert was witness number 53. The defense claims Avery is being framed by two Manitowoc County deputies out of retaliation for a lawsuit that he filed for a wrongful rape conviction back in 1985. Avery claims those officers planted blood from a vial of Avery's blood kept in the Manitowoc County Clerk of Court's office. Today, Wiegert testified he didn't know that vial of blood even existed until December of 2006, after defense attorneys started making those accusations. When he did, he took action.
Had you and Investigator Fossbender as lead investigators performed another or a parallel investigation as to the allegations of planting specifically by Lieutenant Link and Sergeant Colburn?
Absolutely. I mean, I felt, I can't speak for Mr. Fossbender, but I felt it was our duty that we had to do everything we could to find out one way or another whether that was true or it wasn't true.
Tom, after trial, Special Prosecutor Ken Kratz said he was very pleased with the case the state presented, especially that he could introduce scientific evidence from the FBI, clearing the good name of two Manitowoc County deputies. Those tests showed Avery's blood that was found in Teresa Halbach's SUV didn't match blood found in that vial kept in the Clerk of Court's office. It didn't match it because those stains contained no EDTA. That's a preservative. The vial did contain that preservative.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Chris Schuler live in Chilton this evening. Also testifying, Wisconsin Department of Criminal Investigation Special Agent Ron Pevito. Pevito said that he found bone fragments snared in what was left of steel belts of tires in Stephen Avery's burn pit. Pevito said tires are a good source of energy and be used as an accelerant. Under cross-examination, Pevito said he could not determine, though, when those bones were burned. Fingerprint examination expert Mike Riddle from the State Crime Lab testified that he could not find any reliable fingerprint samples on the blood vial. He also said he found one fingerprint on Stephen Avery's headboard and that it belonged to Avery. He said he did find fingerprints on items in Halbach's SUV, but not Stephen Avery's. Mike Halbach was recalled to the stand today, and he told the jury that he checked his sister's cell phone voicemail box the day she was reported missing. He said it was full, and that concerned him because his sister checked her voicemail frequently. The defense had said that someone other than Avery checked the voicemail, and the police did not follow up on that lead. So now that the prosecution has rested their case, where does the case against Stephen Avery go from here? CBS 5's Anjanette Levy joining us live now from Chilton with reaction from the lawyers and from our legal analysts. Anjanette.
Well, Tom, obviously everyone had a lot to say after court today. We spoke with Special Prosecutor Ken Kratz, Avery's attorney Jerome Buting, and our legal analyst. Here's a little bit of what everyone had to say.
Certainly all of the evidence that we expected to get in did get into evidence. I was happy that we were able to meet a portion of the defense, that is the defense of planting evidence.
Of course we appreciate the hurdles. We appreciated that before we ever got here. I mean, we had a lot of hurdles just trying to overcome some perceptions that people had when they first came into this jury pool too. So, but you know, all I can say is that we're comfortable with where we're at.
I think it's very interesting that they put on a very streamlined case, because some of this evidence they presented might even be considered rebuttal evidence rather than prosecution's evidence in their case in chief. So if they didn't put on that rebuttal evidence, you know, the state probably would have rested a couple days ago already.
The defense will call its first witness after 1 o'clock tomorrow. The morning will be spent arguing some outstanding motions. And the big question that's on everyone's mind, will Stephen Avery testify? The defense attorneys won't answer that question right now. Tom?
Okay, thanks, Anjanette. Anjanette Levy live in Chilton this evening to read courtroom journals from Chris and Anjanette about the developments in the Stephen Avery murder trial. Go to our website, WFRV.com/Avery.